Alright folks, and welcome back to another episode of Casting Conflicts, where today we've got another great matchup lined up for you guys. As we're looking at our leaderboards, of course, as always here, Jump maintaining his position, blocking out Helios from taking another set over him, taking a second set win, putting him down more towards the bottom of the pack tier, putting him above Astroy though, as Astroy's game records don't really show much better than Helios's. So unfortunately, Astroy will be stuck at the bottom there. Maybe the Rack of Rumble can save him, but yeah, going to be a tough one for him, especially with that same deck, Tweakin', especially with that same deck.
Oh yeah, so I mean, hopefully he decides to make some changes, and maybe is preparing for the Rack of Rumble. But unfortunately, as of right now, it looks like he better get comfortable down there for better terms.
That's true, that's true. But today's match has some interesting implications, as it is going to be Jay taking on Banana in what's set to be a great matchup with, as I said, a stipulation. If Jay can take the set win here, he might surpass Banana in the leaderboards, as we see Banana currently at a 3-1 set victory, Jay at 2-2. If he can claim this set, he might put himself over on Banana, and that should be some fun leaderboard movement for us as we approach the end of the season. But, I mean, Tweakin', what are we looking at for this overall matchup here? We've got the Dinosaurs coming back against the conglomerate that is Jay's strategy. What are you thinking?
The easiest way to beat any Dino deck is to just kill off any sort of Dino. Now, that's easier said than done. Without the help that is of Warlocks. But if you are able to get rid of the baby dinos, the Dino Rider, the T-Rex, and the Mordock, and then the Magnosaur, depending on how often they're played and how often they're draw, dinos aren't the strongest deck. I mean, without the help of Dino Nest, you're not really too scared of a lot of the units. They need that Dino Nest to, get just overpowered and get to the point where, it's hard to even, deal with one of the dinos, let alone 5 of them.
Right.
Now, Jay does have some answers with, Vikings and Crusaders. He has the likes of Lightning Blades and Chain Lightnings and Freeze with Yenaroth and Frozen Pillars. But is that going to be enough to kill off these units? Yes, it'll be enough to stall Banana's turn, but can Jay stall enough to where he can capitalize on killing them his next turn? That's going to be the real question. We see Reclaim making an appearance in this deck. I like Reclaim, but there's not a lot of buildings in Banana's deck outside of, Tarius Files and Armories. So is that going to be, worthy of a spot? Maybe he changes that out, seeing that, Banana doesn't really have a lot of buildings. Maybe he goes in with another unit, or maybe like another church or something, or a fortify, or maybe Burning Sun.
Maybe.
Could we see a Sun in here? That would be a great addition, going up against Dino. After you see that Dino Nest being played, play a Burning Nest to pretty much negate all the buffs that just came on. So if Jay doesn't win this match, I would love to see him play a deck with some sort of Burning Sun if he doesn't want to go with Warlocks. But I feel like this is going to be a good matchup. I feel like this is going to be a long matchup, just with both players having the ability to heal up their castles, and both decks kind of having that passive play style. Banana, with dinos, you want to be a little bit passive so you can have at least one dino on your deck, or on your board when you have that Dino Nest. And then with Jay, you have a lot of your late game units with Temple and Craxus and Mordock. You kind of want to, just stall until you can get to the point where you have a lot of Temples down. Yeah, you have Armories down, and you just want to overwhelm your opponent. So I think this is going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Agreed. But only one way to find out who will win, as I speak too fast and slur my words. But let's go ahead and, folks, match number 1. Let's go right now. Yes, sir. Alright, folks, and welcome back to the battlefield as we are jumping into match number 1.
Oh
Uh,
God.
that's gonna be a
Yeah,
rough start.
I would re-roll. I would re-roll banana.
I mean, he would if they didn't do the stream sniper agreement that they have, where it's actually gonna cost him stars.
Oh,
Uh,
they actually stream sniped each
yep,
other?
this is actually considered a ranked match in the game, so we'll
Oh.
see. We'll see if that's gonna be something that we actually, well, we'll see how much that matters. We're gonna or see a blue fireball hit a dwarven paladin here. He's adjusting the music, I guess, for his own ends. I'm gonna respond with a second paladin here, and I mean, Tweakin, I was
Oh
gonna
my.
ask at the beginning of this, who did you favor in the matchup? But judging by the hand here, I think I know which direction you're going in.
Yeah, especially when the lightning blade's gonna come out
Oh
right here.
my god!
I mean, I think banana should have feared right there, especially since he has literally no play other than the armory, and now. I mean, this is just comical at this point. I mean, this is just silly.
I'm surprised he didn't take his restart policy. At this point, it's too late to enact it, so we are now going to end up, having a loss through incredible brick potential here. Rat
Oh,
King,
oh, thank God. Thank God. He got the Rat King.
yeah, but I mean, again, how much does this accomplish here? He can.
Oh, he'll play another lightning blade for sure,
Oh
right
my
here.
god, yep. Hellblade does end it. But Rat King also not really useful in that upkeep. We're going to see a Cleric hit the board here. We're going to hit the Rat, healing up the Cleric. Seems fine. Freezing
Oh, this.
Pillar.
Oh,
Yep.
my. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I think this is
There's
this
not much to
is
commentate on because
yeah.
a lumberjack. What are we hoping to draw in here too? A dark bender?
No. It'll just die. Oh, Witch Bolt. Um
Yay.
yeah, again, it doesn't really accomplish much here. Has to hit the monk because he doesn't want to kill off his own or doesn't want to kill off the cleric because his rat king is actually doing some defensive work for him here. Doesn't matter though. With Temple of the Five Gods,
Oh,
going to be it, and we see the quick
oh,
surrender.
oh my
Oh
God.
my god, that was a
LOL.
fast match. That was an incredibly fast match, and it's most unfortunate too, because I mean, he had the opportunity for a restart policy, didn't take it, decided to roll on the risky side, and he got pretty punished for it. And that was a ranked match, yeah. So Banana unfortunately did lose some potential stars in that one. But with that being said, folks, a quick game one. Let's go ahead and break it down in the post match for you as much as we can. All right, folks, I'm coming back after match number 1, and if you were perceptive enough in our pre-match, then you might have seen the result here. I didn't intend for that to happen, but it does. Jay ends up winning match number 1 on a really quick and unfortunate bout here for Banana, as it was just brick central. 3 Dino Nests, 2 Arbiter, really drawing the dead weight of his deck early, and it just did not go well when we saw the Dwarf Paladin Lightning Blade combination come out. It's just, oh dear God.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It happens, but you hate to see it happen at this late in the stage and when you have a good matchup where, you have both players kind of fighting to get into those top 5, top 4 spots. So it's just unfortunate to happen. We saw a bunch of Dino Nests, Mordox. We saw everything under the sun that Banana just couldn't play and just had to end his turn. That is kind of the danger when you run with Dino Nest is, yes, like it's a great card, but if you don't have a single Dino down, you can't even play it. So it's just a wasted card in your hand and it's taking up a slot. So that's kind of the danger that you have to come up against if you play a dino deck.
Right, certainly. And I mean, hopefully he'll be able to adapt moving into game number 2 here. I think Banana's always been a player who can adapt in situations like this. So we'll see if he decides to run the same thing or, select one of his other matchups here going up against Jay's conglomerate. But with that being said, folks, do you have another matchup to get to? Match number 2 coming at you right now. All right, folks, match number 2 now underway as Banana going with the mirror matchup for faction colors here. What do we think about this one, Tweakin? Do we think he brought out a War Party? I mean, we know that Bandit does play a couple of War Party decks himself, or at least has maybe one or two. What are your thoughts on this for the mirror
Yeah,
matchup?
I think we need to see a little bit more of his deck. I still think we need to see. I mean, Rat King. When I see Rat King, I don't want to say War Party because of the upkeep, but and then again, you can make the argument that he just puts that in for body blocks
Mm-hmm.
for stuff like Faithful Drake right here. Uh, okay, yeah, no, this is for sure a War Party deck now with Ragnar and Yenneroth with the Wind Mage and also Divine Knowledge. So this should be fun. This should be interesting to see if Banana can hold out.
Yeah, and there's Dwarf
Uh,
Paladin, the game ender for him in the last matchup here. He's gonna allow him to come in again. Will we see the L-Blade Paladin for a second game? Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my
this
god.
is going to be tough. This is actually going to be tough unless he draws a frozen pillar.
No, he doesn't get it. I mean, yeah, this is
This could be
tough.
game over right here because I mean, how do you get rid of the Dwarf Paladin? The Rat Kings are essentially useless because
Yeah, the
you
Dwarf
just heal them
Paladin
back up.
heals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and now you're the only way you can attack it is with the Wind Mage. But now the question is, does Arm continue to attack the face, or does he take out the Wind Mage
I
here?
think he goes face. And I don't know if he's figured out that this is Banana's War Party deck. I'm not sure if he's got that kind of knowledge offhand. But if he deduces that this is a War Party deck, his obvious choice is going to be to go face. Because if essentially
Hmm.
Banana can't play that War Party, this deck just dies. If he's already got a unit on face here, as long as it's not frozen off, he should just keep beating face for the win here. We do see a Cleric come out for a second time here. Paladin healing, that is going to hit for again. I mean, we do have Hands of the Saint. We can't discount that, actually, in Banana's hand. I did actually
You do, yeah.
forgot about that. The question is, do we attempt to take one more shot with the Paladin now, with maybe playing like another Rat King and books, or do we just hands here, do a little bit of chip where we can? Looks like we are going to go for the
Yeah,
hands play here.
you have to hands because an L blade ends it.
Oh,
Uh,
that's true. Yeah.
and I mean, you can't. There's no way of killing it. It's too risky to play flying books and try to draw onto something.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna heal him back up.
Oof. And
Um,
there's the
I
monk to heal the
mean,
Paladin.
what? Okay, I think Arm finally figured out what this deck was. Um, what are we hoping to see here? Northland's Ranger?
Freeze of any kind here. Yes.
Oh,
Just
okay,
like
that's
that.
beautiful. Uh,
Yeah, he has to play the Freeze Aura. He can play the books as well here, which I think is also additional play he needs to make here. Needs to just stall out really for the War Party. If we can get to turn 9, we can Yenneroth Freeze into our War Party, which is going to be great. But we have to pass one more turn here. And Arm's deck does have a lot of sneaky cards, perhaps another L-Blade. Cleric going up top here. Monk played up at the top as well. No freezing pillar from him though, so Windmage still allowed to
mhm.
move freely here. So we do have the potential to get rid of that Paladin this turn.
Oh, that blacksmith is gonna be
Huge.
crucial here.
Yep. I mean, we can now use the Windmage to pick away at the Monk here. We can use books to kill off the Paladin as well. Um,
I think he should have traded with the cleric with the book and then played Rat King here, but it was a little bit funky. No, actually, he can still kill the cleric with the warrior here. Yeah, bounce it down, negate the heal.
I'm kind of worried though about all this chain that he's setting up because of this. Like, look how many units are in the back line here, and how many of
Hmm.
them aren't really dying to mitigate that chain. Like, we have to start moving things up and over here, and even still, like, this freezing pillar in that spot creates this weird chain where a lot of units here could just die if, Jay has lightning blade or even maybe another temple here, because a lot of these are, only one health. Well, I guess maybe that's
Right.
not going to do a huge amount, but regardless.
Frozen pillar here.
Okay, you're doing
Yeah.
freezing pillar.
That's in a great spot too. Because now, as long as that flying book stays there, there's going to be no way. Oh no, never mind. Wait, no, flying units can't fly over each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is
so
essentially a big freeze column that is now blocking a good portion of the bottom board here for Banana's side.
And in order for him to get rid of that, he has to maneuver that Wind Mage all the way down and set himself up for an even bigger Lightning Blade here.
That is true. We can Yenaroth if we wanted to prevent any of these other units from taking any sort of additional movement. And that would set us up into war part here. We are going to pass for the turn here, see what Jay's big strategy is, which I think is fine. And
Yeah, I was
yeah,
about to say, here comes a big old yarm.
we'll see how much chain is going to be dealt because of this here. To
Yikes.
Yeah, it's not really going to be enough to actually kill Banana here. And that's the crucial thing, because now we get into War Party. We can play double Dremoth for healing. Jesus Christ. Oh, and we get rid of the best
Oh,
option.
oh man.
Oh,
Are you gonna attack with the
Lord.
rat first? Attack with the rat. Yeah, get that rat out of the way. Get as many get as many, free open spaces as possible. Take out the cleric with the Yanaroth and then play
Dremoth to
double
remove.
Dramoth.
Yeah, we got to get that
And
healing out.
maybe get a Ragnar out, just one.
I mean, we don't have to play the second one, probably. We'll see how aggressive he is with this second Dremoth. Yep, being very aggressive here, getting out that one Ragnar at the top.
He's just gonna go for it all.
Committing for the second Ragnar as well here. Not putting it in, though. Noting that, with Jay's Yarm Giants potentially lurking, this could be an equally explosive turn here for Jay, as now the War Party goes to him. And over 7 cards in hand, you gotta admit there's gotta be a unit somewhere in that hand.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Viking Crusaders do tend to have those bigger late game units here, so, potentially another Yarm from Jay's side. We could see Yenaroth. Yep, there's a Yenaroth. That is not what we wanted to see if we were
Or
Banana. Looks like we are going to go Arbiter. Oh, into the cracks.
Correctus.
Free draw.
Love it.
2 more cards. Yep.
And that placement is now blocking Banana from attacking that
Mm-hmm.
Craxus.
Yeah,
And
not the
then
most stellar of
a
draws.
cultist. A cultist.
I mean, Cultus is okay, but not exactly what we probably wanted to see
Not
from
at this
that.
point in the game. Not in
No,
this point in the game.
no. Well, I don't really know what else is in Banana's deck that really warrants him being like, that is a good draw. Because, I mean, we're seeing, a full War Party play out here. A nearly full War Party. I'm not sure if he's got the third Dremoth or Ragnar in deck.
I can only assume. I'm assuming this is a traditional war party deck. We haven't seen any Yarms, any Frog Princes, any Mordocs. So curious to see what other big name monsters is
Nor
lurking in
Craxus from Banana's
Bananas.
side.
Or Craxus. Yeah, I wonder what type of other monsters are in his deck here.
We are going to see some damage control, though, from Jay's side, opting not to go face with the Yenaroth. Instead, doing a bit of work here to... Is we going to see freeze?
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of freeze here. Okay. Well,
Okay.
essentially, yeah.
I mean, okay,
Why? I wonder
Craxus
why
in a
he
weird...
pushed his Craxus like that.
I'm thinking he might have additional freezing in hand.
Maybe
Potentially.
like
That's what I admit. I mean, Jay's not going to be able to move this Craxus for, his upcoming turn here. So, really, the Yenaroth is the only movable body. I have to imagine that it might have been to set up some kind of freeze here, but I don't
maybe
think the
like a
Craxus
bait.
is in a great spot to do it.
Maybe like a bait trying to chain some people up here.
Maybe, but instead we're going to get the double Temple from Jay's turn here.
Ooh.
And a double Wind Mage in response for the draw.
This could be
That's
dangerous because now he can position his Ragnars in a way that he can double Wind Mage next turn.
to create big Ragnar value.
Exactly. Depending on if JJ has another Yenaroth, or sometimes or some type of freeze, frozen pillar, cloak of ice. This could be dangerous. But he didn't put it in the best. I don't like that last positioning by the Ragnar. I get that he wants to take out some of these temples and maybe the Tarias for the crazy amount of draws, but
I think he's trying to
I
set
mean,
up a
just
lot
look
of
at the
threats
hand.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, just look at the hand difference. I think he's just scared of the potential freeze.
Yeah. But I mean, Mordok coming out, not really a great sign. That Ragnar chain will kill off both units here, so not really an effective use of the Mordok in my opinion on that play. This does give... Okay, well there's a Drake, so we don't
Oh,
actually keep the Ragnar. Ragnar at the bottom, though, will swing in for Temple, I imagine, taking out the Tarius. That could do some fun stuff. L-Blade for draw. That is not that bad. That's ready to
mm-mm.
go for a Divine Knowledge here from Banana's side. We could see a second one we played. We will. Ooh, additional cards here. We love to see it. More freeze, another global. Fantastic stuff here. Probably going to see Ragnar get positioned right in front of the castle. Yep, following up with the books. Looks like we're going to get a
Oof.
nice position, but very susceptible to freeze, potentially.
Right.
I wouldn't like a freezing pillar coming out. Now, although we've seen, what, 2 Yenoroths from Jay's side, 1 pillar?
One pillar. Um, the question is if he is able to freeze off the back part of Banana's units, is he going to be able to somehow defeat or stall
Neutralize the one already
the
on his face.
more, yeah, the
Yeah,
more aggressive one and the higher health one?
that is the question. I think we know regardless what's going to happen for Banana's next play here. Looking at potentially L-Blade going into one of those 2 Ragnars. Um, it's really a matter of just, I think, Jay picking his poison, which way he wants to go out here. Does he want to stall the massive army coming in behind, or does he want to stall the one that's being, that's got a more threatening position here? As the timer now ticking down, time is running out here.
Yep,
Freezing
there's
Pillar
one.
was in the hand. We do neutralize the 310 on face here, getting the Monk to block, although we do know it's not going to be worth much considering the Wind Mage and now
Oh,
the
Wind
dual Lightning
Mage,
Blade in
yeah.
hand. I think we're going to go probably dual Lightning Blade. We can afford to just Cultist, Book
Yeah,
into Monk,
Cultist book, yeah,
dual Lightning
and
Blade.
then double, yeah.
That's, oh, Jesus, 11 points of chain damage. That's insane.
This is about to get this is about to get crazy, folks.
If this
Buckle
isn't,
in.
I don't think, if this isn't the kill, I don't think, no, that is a kill. That's perfectly lethal. 5 and the additional 6.
My
Oh my
God.
god. The absolute mad lad does it in a scarier match than I would have liked for him, honestly. I was getting pretty nervous there as we were in the early stages of that match here, seeing the Dwarven Paladin kind of repeat what happened in match number 1, but thankfully proven wrong here. If we do go to a game 3, jeez, some crazy stuff here, Tweaking. Crazy, crazy stuff.
Shout out to the Frozen Pillar one time.
Which one?
You know exactly which one I'm talking about. The one that saved Banana.
Oh yeah, that one. Yep, yep, yep. Freeze doing its part yet again. But with that being said, folks, we do have a post match to get to. Let's go ahead and jump to that before we hit game number 3. All right, folks, and welcome back. Game number 2 in the books, and a strong redemption for Banana as he comes back with the classical War Party deck here. Thankfully, I mean, we didn't see a repeat of Game 1. We were getting close to it, that early Dwarven Paladin, but, I mean, the Frozen Pillar at the
Thank
right
God.
time, man, it just smoothed this into a nice War Party, I would say, here. Just a lot of strong things working in for Banana here.
Right. I mean, the play of the game and the card of the game was Frozen Pillar. It came at the most crucial time in order to save Banana's match and life. Now he has an opportunity to come back and win the set after that abysmal first match. So, but yeah, once that Frozen Pillar down, it was kind of just doing damage control to the point where we could play War Party. Now, we did see Banana kind of, especially with that double placement of JJ's own Frozen Pillar, kind of have a hard time maneuvering around setting up for Chain Lightning, which ultimately ended up getting yarmed. But thankfully, it didn't kill his castle, and then either the very next turn or the turn after that, we were able to play more party and play double Draymoths and Ragnars. And at that point of the match, I mean, to deal with 2, 9, 12 units, essentially 8, 10 units, and then another one following the turn after that, it just gets to the point where it's just too much if you don't have global burns like Dragon's Fire or Flamestorm, or your own freeze to kind of delay their movements. But unfortunately, we saw JJ have to play Tarius and two Temples. Not the kind of cards you needed at that moment. You needed more heavy unit cards. You needed something to kind of block your castle and do some sort of damage.
You
But
know
towards
what
the
was
end of the
weird?
game,
I'm sorry to cut you off here, Twig. You know what was weird about
no,
that? We saw Jay had a massive amount of cards in hand, but just unable to respond to those big Ragnars
right,
coming in until they were right on his face, in which he had to, play a pillar to negate the bottom most Ragnar, and then throwing up additional units here. So you had to imagine, what was he holding on in that massive grip to just not be able to play anything to deal with these big Ragnars, especially in a deck like this, where there are clearly answers, but like, my God,
right.
it's kind of
Like,
surprising.
yeah, I can't imagine him having too many spells in that deck. I want to say maybe he just had a lot of mid-tier units where, yes, he had a lot of cards in his hand, but he would have to probably waste 3 or 4 to get rid of one unit. So maybe he was thinking, well, if I can get down those temples, I can essentially buff up all these little mini cards that I have in my hand and do a little bit more damage before I kind of just sack them all into a single Dreymoth. But yeah, or maybe, sometimes when your opponent plays War Party and you have a bundle of cards, it's kind of like a sensory overload because now you have unlimited amount of golds. And like, it's easy enough to kind of figure out your turn when you only have a set limit, but now it's like, it's
Jeez,
essentially a
yeah.
gold rush where it's like play whatever you want. And sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what you can do while you're still on the clock and having to move and make sure that you're not chaining up any cards. So yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit much when you have a lot of cards in your hands. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see JJ's point of view, so we're kind of just shooting in the dark here. But
Right.
end of the day, Banana with a great win, and hopefully he can come back and win the set here.
Of course, we still have a game 3 to go here. But one last point I will mention from my perspective in this matchup here. Weird how a lot of the one-ofs showed up in this particular matchup here. Looking on both sides here, the hands are the same, which was crucial to keep Banana alive. From the Dwarven Paladin, that was a one-of in his deck. The Yarn from Jay, that was a one-of. So it kind of goes to show that, some decks can allow these little one-ofs to appear, and they do make an impact sometimes, but kind of wild to
Hmm.
imagine what that game would have been if we didn't see some of those crucial one-ofs come in at the times that they did. It's just
Right,
interesting to
right.
me. But I mean, with that being
No, that
said, we do have a game number 3 to get to. Tweak, I'm sorry I cut you off. Anything that you want to, lastly throw out before I get into that game?
no, I'm just saying I'm ready to see game 3. I'm
Oh,
ready to see what Jay pulls out of his hat.
all right, word. I mean, I think I have an idea just based on the direction Banana went in. I think Jay's about to fire off a retaliation. We'll only have to see. We'll have to confirm that as we get into match number 3. So with that being said, folks, match number 3. Let's go ahead and get to that right now. All right, folks, in game number 3 now underway here is Banana going back to his game 1 Dino deck with a much better hand. On the other side here, Jay rocking what I assume is the only one true deck that Jay can bring out here. Tweak, and I think we're seeing Raka Party make another appearance.
Yeah, I like Banana's initial hand. He's got a lot more tools to work with. So it's going to be a lot longer of a match than, the first match. So at least we have that going for us right now. Probably going to blue firebolt that wizard. Yeah, he already knows what's up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty strong start here, taking out a lot of arms, what would be stall tools here. Not trading with the Drake here, although we could have if we wanted to. I'm going to run into a Dark Bender here as a replacement for that Wizard. We don't have an immediate out for it, unfortunately.
Do you set up an armory here? Yeah, just get the armory. Do you trade?
I
I guess
mean,
you trade.
you take out the
Trade,
Drake
yeah.
here, forcing Dark Bender to probably move up, take the trade. Ooh.
Ooh, maybe he doesn't even have to. Yeah. Does he play another Drake? Nope, just gonna pass it back.
Nope, just gonna pass it back here. We do see Blacksmith making an appearance here, although really not much else I think Banana can do in this opener. I do like how he's conserving that baby dino because he knows that's going to be his potential way to play
Hmm.
Nest, maybe in a more immediate circumstance here. Jay, meanwhile, though, happened to play the passing game, considering that his deck just really is going to rely off of, the War Party stall. So if, Banana's not going to do anything, then, Jay's not going to worry too much. Uh, Banana, interestingly, approaching the Darkbender with a Magma Sword trade opportunity here. It would make the Darkbender weak to Blue Firebolt if Jay wants to take that. I don't think he is going to, though. Do you think he's going to?
I don't think so. Uh, this is the hardest part with dealing with
We are.
dinos is when do you play Dragon's Fire and when do you play your burns? Because Dino Nester is lurking, and as soon as that hits the board, I mean it's all hands on deck. Uh, do you
This is
Blue Firebolt the Darkbender? I mean, I feel like you should, just because that Darkbender is such a menace to play around.
kind of. If we had that armory still with us here, we probably wouldn't able to take that lumberjack to
Hmm.
kill it. But obviously, we do not. Instead, setting up a second magma star, moving the lumberjack away from keeper, preventing Jay from getting any sort of undead value off of it.
There's the
Ugh,
Dragon's Fire.
and there's a Dragon's Fire. We can play.
I think
Ooh,
we're gonna Mordock into a baby Dino,
I
but
think
we're
that
gonna
might be a play.
yeah,
It's honestly not a
just
bad one if we don't run into freeze. Or not. Okay, alright. We're confident here.
I would assume this is gonna get burnt off with a Blue Firebolt and then probably trade with
Yep.
the Keeper.
The Caster's
Yep.
Curse warps it into reality here. As we see two Banshees coming up, one on Jay's side, one on Banana's. Although Banshee making an appearance here, grotesque. Ooh, some nice value there.
Oh, and a deck
Unfortunately, the
card.
Smuggle Ring is useless considering that this deck really can't produce any treasure without any sort of outside minor spell influence, which we know this deck is going to be hard to come by. I could say that, and okay, no, we see it headless. Ooh, baby Dino Vanish.
We're about to see some funny things with that Vanish. I'll tell you right now.
Are we?
Yes, that's gonna come in handy with these dinos.
Yeah, because we can replay the buff from the babies to re-trigger effects, and with the
You know
quote-unquote
what?
brokenness of dinos and the healing behind their power buffing, it's no surprise that we're gonna probably see a Vanish Baby at some point.
Not even a Vanish baby. I think we might even vanish the Rider
Oh,
And then play Dino Nest here. Or no, we're just gonna Blue Firebolt
yeah,
and
we're gonna get
maybe
in for
yeah.
some big damage here with this Dino Rider. That's gonna land a clean 7 on face potentially here. I don't like how he's putting a
No,
second baby to chain.
he's being ultra aggressive here. I think he's feeling a little bit a little bit safe knowing that he has that Vanish. So if things go sideways, he's just gonna vanish the Rider. We might see a Yenaroth here.
Potentially. I mean, this is dangerous territory because Jay, of course, has the sort of ideal grip size for a racket party this late in the game here, but whether or not he actually has the opportunity to pull off the combo is another story. We know he's got a headless horseman in hand, which he does play now.
Eh, that's not a good sign. Frozen Pillar.
Yep, there
That's
is the
fine, but
pillar.
now we're just gonna vanish the Rider and get that back. Or we're just gonna keep the vanishing
Yeah, we're
because we
taking some
managed. Yeah, since we managed to clear out the
opportunities.
pillar.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. We have the opportunity to eliminate horsemen, so we are going to take it. But I would have thought maybe we were saying like a vanish baby to prevent any sort of big chain that's being set up like we see here. Instead, we're going to see the Yenaroth hit the board here. Lumberjack putting into the Dino Rider to make a trade for draw here. Oh, and we
Ooh.
have no way to really stop this Yenaroth from doing what it wants. We are going to vanish replay one of those babies at the bottom here, making that Dino Rider a little bit stronger. But this is potentially where it might end here. if the War Party grip is in hand, it will come. Oh, and here it
Uh-oh.
is.
Uh-oh.
There's one
How
Raka.
many how many does he have? He needs one more.
Yep.
He has to have it. Nope.
Yenneroth. Well, I mean,
Well,
that's...
does he how AIDS does he want to be? Does he have it and he's just doing this for fun?
I mean, that's kind of a misplay, though, playing into the Yenneroth here with the positioning of that. He froze off his more aggressive... Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Never
he
mind.
slowed rolled him.
Uh,
Oh, you
oh,
hate to
dear.
see it, but I think that might be revenge for the war party.
Probably. Uh, I thought if maybe we were playing on our hand here that we wouldn't have the second Yenneroth, but no, or the second Raka, excuse me. But we did have it. We did have the second Raka. Big explosion goes boom, and takes out Banana here. So gotta give it to him. That was another good demonstration of Raka Party for sure here. And this is gonna probably maybe do a little bit of shakeups in the standings here. I'm not sure, but we'll have to take a look at it. For now, though, we have a post match to get to. Game number 3. Let's go ahead and break down all that for you guys. Alright, folks, and match number 3 comes to a close, and with that, Jay takes the win here, showing off yet again the power of Raka Party. I honestly think, Tweakin, that this was a strong matchup for him. I mean, we saw Banana's Dino deck do better in the early game. It didn't brick out completely. But he had some weird scenarios where I don't think he was able to do as much as he would like to. And there were some
Hmm.
questionable plays here, obviously, like the Magmasaur into Darkbender, when we could have, saved that Magmasaur for big Dino Nest, creating a bigger unit than Darkbender. And just, yeah, having that weird little baby conglomerate, that getting frozen off, obviously not ideal. I think it was just a rough matchup when Banana really started to approach sort of the big late game boss monsters that Jay's deck carried.
Right. And Jay kind of made this deck kind of one as as a retaliation to Banana playing War Party of his own in the second matchup, and also as a hard counter to the Dino. I mean, you have Freeze to stall, you have Burn to burn off any potential lingering dinos before he is able to play those Dino nests. And then ultimately, once Raka gets into the mix, I mean, you have Yenneroth, and then you just pop all the Rakas to the point where Banana, if he is able to survive that initial Raka boom, has to waste his turn and play Arbiters,
Yeah.
and maybe not have enough firepower left to clean up the rest of JJ's units. So the question was in this matchup, can Banana be aggressive enough to end the game before JJ was able to play War Party, which goes against
The
the
big,
initial strategy
yeah.
of dinos, which is kind of play a little bit more passively before you get a dino nest down. Once you get like a one big T-Rex, that's when you go full steam ahead. But yeah, it was just a hard counter. It was a great pick from JJ, and um, I love the little slow roll at the end where he had the game ended, but he wanted to have
He
his
didn't want to
way with
show us
Banana a
until he
little
felt
bit.
really comfortable doing so, and
Yeah.
I mean, giving us the false hope that the game could have gone maybe a little bit longer. He just shut that down at a quick moment's notice. So you got to give it to him, though. He does take the set, and in doing so, does a little leaderboard action here, as we are set to look at that in just a moment here. The leaderboard is certainly going to now move, potentially as a result of this. We'll have to see, though, if that is the case. With that being said, though, that's going to do it for us for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at those leaderboards and see how they get affected.